Hi everyone, I hope that you are all doing well. I am back today with a new video on violin technique, and I would like to talk about Prokofiev's Violin Concerto No. 2 in G minor, and that's the last movement, the CODA of the last movement, which is a great passage. It is very virtuoso, very brilliant and efficient, very descriptive as well, which is typical of Prokofiev's music. But it's a very demanding passage. It's a very long coda. It's two huge pages of many different musical challenges and technical challenges as well. And so I thought it would be interesting to cover maybe a few elements of this passage, as I have many students working on this concerto right now. And many questions are coming up, and so I thought I would talk about it today. So the first step that I recommend to work on when you practice this passage is, of course, working on the left hand. Now, the left hand is very important, because if you don't have a precise and very well prepared left hand, the bow will be chaotic. So you need to make sure that, first of all, the intonation is very clean and the left hand very well prepared, so that you can, be completely free to think about your bow and all these elements I was talking previously about. So the first step is to work legato. So forget about the bowings right now and just work legato per bar, which is very good, very slowly. And make sure that you are always, even though you are concentrating on the left hand, that your bow is extremely well controlled, that you are organizing your bow very well, and that you are also following the natural curve of the bridge, which is round and not angular, so that you don't have angular movements. You see, something like that. That you make sure that you always prepare the arm in a very round and smooth way, so you don't get wrong accentuations or unevenness in the sound. And of course, the forearm must be very even and the speed always the same. So it's not, but make sure that you control. So you have the arm really anticipating the string crossings, and then you have the forearm controlling the speed. And of course, you make sure that the sound is very full. I prepare everything, and I make sure that there are no gaps in the sound, so you don't hear something like this. You see, very legato, because this means that maybe you are changing the forearm speed or changing the weight, etc. You really want to have the same quality of sound on each note, so that's a very important step. You can even add double stops if you have, for example, the first it's a B. You see, so you can work in double stops. You see, that's a very good exercise as well, because you place the fingers together and the left hand is very well prepared. Now the next step is. Well, again, for this legato practice, you can also add the metronome, which is a great tool, and work slowly with the metronome and make sure that you're really very precise. And then I was playing legato per bar, and I'm going to add another bar in the same bow. So 2 bars in the same bow, but with this tempo, so which is a very slow tempo. So you need to control even more the arm speed. Very, very difficult. So that's a very good step as well. And of course, then you increase the tempo gradually, so that you until the final tempo. And then we are going to work now on the bow. So this step is really working on the string, and you are really going to concentrate on the forearm. So here, you see forearm is very active. Now, that's a very important element because you want to make sure that your bow is always very well parallel to the bridge, you see? And not something like this. So if you're blocking the elbow, you'll get this problem. Now, the sound quality will not be the same, you see? There are some weak points in the sound. So make sure that your bow is always very, very well parallel to the bridge. See? So the condition here is to make sure your forearm is extremely active and you're not blocking the elbow. We get this problem, you see? You can hear the sound is very different. And I recommend to work this passage on at the lower half of the bow because you have much more strength and this passage needs much more weight. So the lower half is the ideal place. See, that's a great way to work. It's and you feel every note in the bow. It's fantastic. And the next step will be the same thing, but only with the hands. So you are going to work the wrist. Now, when you have the legato notes passage, then you are going to use the forearm. And then coming back again with the forearm and détaché only with the hands. So it gives you see? Now forearm, hand, forearm. Voilà, so that's a very important step as well because when you're going to perform this passage, you are going to use both forearm and wrist because you need the elasticity, which is the wrist, of course, and the length in the sound, which is here, in that case, the forearm as well. So you're going to use both part of the arm. So that's a very important step as well. And again, I work very slowly. I recommend again here the metronome because it's very easy to rush in this passage, and this is the worst thing. If you start pushing the tempo, you are going to finish in a very bad condition. So make sure that you really control the tempo and that you add, like you increase the tempo in a very gradual way. And then the next step is to lift the bow. Now, there are different ways to play this passage. Some violinists are playing the passage on the string, which is great, I love it. And some violinists are lifting the bow. So, I mean, this is, the two options are great. If you are going to play on the string, then just continue to develop what I just recommended now. And if you are going to lift the bow, which I play it while lifting a little bit the bow, not too much because you need more length in the sound, but a little bit. I think it's more biting and more descriptive, and it has maybe a bit more character. So in that case, if you decide to lift the bow, you can work this way. I'm going to place the bow every time. So I lift and then I place the bow before leaving. So make sure that it's a very clean start and it's not, you see? So no finger pressure, just contact and just energy. So I lift, I place, and I leave. So and make sure that you always come back to the same point, so that in the bow, so that you make sure that you have exactly the same quality of sound, and it's not, you see, the sound is different because when you're higher in the bow, it's lighter, so you don't get the same weight and bite. So I always come back, you see. You get exactly the same sound. And then the next step would be to play the passage without placing the bow in advance. So it's very elastic. but you see the hand is also landing on the string. It's very elastic. You see, and gives you this result. If you decide to leave the bow, of course, if you keep the bow on the string, then just make sure that your forearm is very free and horizontal. Voila, so this is a video on Prokofiev's Violin Concerto No. 2, the last movement, the CODA, and I hope this can be again helpful to some of you. It's a great piece, and I take the CODA very often as a warm-up in the morning. I think it's a great passage to place the hand, the left hand, and the bow as well. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will be back with other videos maybe in the future, so stay tuned, and I wish you great practice sessions, and don't hesitate to write to me. I receive many questions about violin technique by email or on my website. You can even write under this video, so feel free to contact me if you have any question, and I will be very happy to answer you, and also to keep these questions in mind, and I can come back with a new video about these elements. So all the best, and I will see you next time.